Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session. First of all, thank you for coming here. So I will be presenting to you this long title session, Creating a Phygital Connection, Bridging the Physical and Virtual World with Unreal Engine. So it's everything that we have been doing this year. It's since with our brand to help them make any physical place into a magical place with the help of technology. But to tell you how we came to arrive to this, a little bit of backstory. So here's where everything started with my associate, Freddy, and I. We are the two small heads there. So it was when we met at 2008, and we met in a very, very incredible production. It was in Logorama. It's a short movie in CG that was awarded with an Academy Award. And there was something very special in this creation, which is the team there wasn't only task-oriented in each shot, doing specific things. Each one of us was there to bring his artistic background and his technical background, and we were working the same shot in a more collaborative, artistic way. And we were very inspired from this, and we decided after that to create SoWhen, the Createch company. We opened it in 2010, and the idea was to create flexible content in an innovative way. And like you can see, we bring our expertise to a lot of different brands. So we work in the entertainment industry, like the Walt Disney Company, or in the industrialists like Michelin, or Stellantis, or Valeo. And we try to bring our knowledge to a lot of type of company. But even if we were very happy with the content that we created, it was passive content. Through a passive pipeline, we were working with Maya, After Effects, and this type of software, and we are missing something. We wanted to be more than that. So we were very frustrated with what we were doing at the time. That's why to explain this frustration, everything was shown through passive displays, videos on internet, videos and events on screens. And for us, this limited the potential of this creation of the universe that we created and the artistic recipe that we had. We wanted it to get out of the screen, wanted to be the space, the whole space where we live as a playground. And then that's why we created phygital experiences. Maybe a lot of you know this term, but for us, what does phygital mean? Phygital is really taking a physical place as a way to interact with digital content and creating this special bridge between the physical world and a digital universe. So to do this, we started using the new technology. We created our own R&D lab in Tunisia. And in the beginning, we started using existing technology. But after that, we started developing our own technological brick to accelerate our creativity. And of course, we manage the whole value chain to our client, from the conception, this first small idea, to the deployment at the event or at the showroom, at the physical place. And from this, the road to our vision started, which is building an entertaining and sensory world without the limit of subject matter and blurring the boundary between physical and digital spaces. To explain a little bit more, these physical places have a lot of constraint, and we had 13 years to experiment there because you have all the constraint, the space itself, gravity, that doesn't exist in the virtual world, but still exists in the real world. And we want to be very creative with these constraints. And Unreal Engine helped us to go beyond this constraint. Let me show you a little bit how Unreal Engine helped us with some images. So our Unreal Engine story started at 2013, where we started our first testing of Unreal. And in 2016 was our first production. It was a VR piece where we traveled through magical world for a brand. And since then, we've been using Unreal Engine for almost 90% of our creations. Like I said, we do a lot of different things. We do interactive mockups, we do showrooms, we do virtual production. We have our own virtual production studio and motion capture studio. And really, we try to play with Unreal Engine to explore all the creative boundaries that we can. And we've been very lucky and happy to become an Unreal Engine service partner recently. Why Unreal Engine? I think a lot of you knows why, but the idea for us is that, first of all, the power of Unreal Engine. We are sure to get access to the latest real-time technology with Unreal Engine through the core development or the community itself. It's a versatile solution because, as you saw, we work in different types of industry, and being able to use Unreal Engine for all this industry is mandatory for us. And also being able to move the asset from different type of project. We can start in a virtual world, but finish in a small visualization application, or the inverse of that. And also the marketplace and ecosystem is very interesting for us, because some of the production are a lot time constrained and need to be fast. Also, with the inspiring community that we have, it's really easy to go there, discuss with them, and be inspired by them. And finally, we think that we share this passion for innovation with Unreal Engine. So we are going to explore some of the examples of our Phygital creation. The first one will be the Michelin Regional Lab experience. So let's see it in image very fast, and I'll explain this to you. So what you've seen here is the interactive mockup of Regional Lab of Michelin. And the idea behind this mockup is to show to the public how we can have different new type of technology that can transform our daily material or daily waste into new components that can be used to create new objects. And Michelin came to us to with the main objective that they wanted an interactive mock-up to show these technology, to explain them well. They wanted something that can be shown different type of events. And they sent to us the different type of technology that we studied. And as the main element, the beginning element of this was the physical material that will be transformed, we said, let's play with this. So the concept, the trick that we wanted to do is really having this capsule, this physical capsule in hand, and make it magically enter into the screen and see it transformed, and have this connection happening in real time to understand better how this technology works. And the final result, as you can see, is this interactive mock-up. It's a plug-and-play interactive mock-up that Michelin can show anywhere in the world. They bring it to several shows, tens and tens of shows, and also it's been duplicated in several countries. And each time you can have it used by the person that are there, or the expert can use it to explain these technologies. And behind this mock-up, there's some key feature that we want to, technical feature that we want to show you. And for that, I invite Victor to come to the scene to talk a little bit more about that.
So, hello everyone, I'm Victor. I'm the lead technical artist at SoWhen, and I will talk to you about some interesting facts on this application. So, for example, we've been using NFC chips in the material capsule to detect which kind of sample the user is putting in the little box on the side of the screen. And for this, the NFC receiver just send a keyboard press to the computer so that it's really easy to get in Unreal. And it made tasting the app really easy too, and developing it really easy because you just have to press, for example, if you put wood in the machine, you just have to press W, it will send the same message. So another thing I can tell you about is we had to be able to pause the sequence that plays when you play with the application. And we have to pause it so that people will understand what's going on in the process. We don't have to freeze the screen. We have just to pause it. So we had particle effects inside of there that were handled only in the sequencer, so that when the particle is created, it's created in the sequencer. If we pause during the play of the particle effects, it will continue playing until we resume the sequencer, and the sequencer will kill it inside of an event. We also made a web version of this app. We've used different renders of the real-time scene, and we put them on sprites to do the web version, as you can see on the right here of the screen.
Thank you, Victor. So let's move to our second case. For some of you that came last year to see our session about the Alstom virtual universe, which is a huge universe. Today, I think it's around 5 square kilometers in size, where Alstom put all their services, all their expertise, and we can explore this huge universe, get into any type of product, and understand it better. But also, it's a huge content machine for us and for them. So they go into the universe and like shooting team, and they do any video they need to explain the marketing side, the technical side, everything, the engineer side. But what's very interesting also with Unreal and with this universe is we are able also to connect it to the physical world. And for that, we are going to move to the serious game that we created for the cybersecurity department of Alstom, and we'll see a small trailer about that. So how does this game works? The idea is we have a flashlight and a tracking box in front of it, and we can choose the environment that we want to explore into the virtual universe, and we start exploring this environment with the flashlight, trying to find the cybersecurity threat hidden inside of it. And each time we find the threat, we can try to answer and give the solution to fight this threat and get points from that. This was the first event where the series game is deployed. So this series game, the idea came from the need of the cybersecurity team at Alstom to showcase their portfolio in cybersecurity in a way to really break the ice in the beginning, show the main messages, and start discussion with an expert. They needed to be catchy, they needed to be fast, and of course they needed to be in different type of events. And the idea from this game came from something very easy that we had, this idea that Alstom bring the light to the cybersecurity threats that are there. The idea that their client, their partner, are in the dark from these cybersecurity threats, and Alstom bring this light. And we try to think how to bring the light to this threat. So this idea of flashlight came, and to playing between something that is outside of the screen, having light projected inside this environment, and playing with that, exploring the space. And we said, this is it. And the client, of course, liked it. And it was this Phygital series game that is deployed in many events. And today, even it becomes really a game that can be used to train a person on cybersecurity threats. And even there's some visitor that asked, can we buy this license? In the beginning, it was only for event, but right now it become a way really to go beyond that and to train people on cybersecurity. It's Victor time, so I'll let him explain some of the technical features.
Yes, so obviously we used the 3D assets that were already modeled and integrated inside of Unreal for the Alstom virtual universe. So it made production quicker and to have already made assets. For the tracking solutions, we thought about a few. We needed to be fast to have a good feeling with the lamp, and small to be able to hide it inside of a torchlight. So we thought about infrared camera, or Wiimote, or Arduino with gyroscope or anything. And we settled for the Vive Tracker 3. And we added a small button to interact with the application to select things. And for the charging and the making sure that it doesn't lose its battery during events and applications, we put a small USB magnet in the lamp so that when you put it on the support, it will charge automatically. The lamp is 3D printed so that the tracker will fit right into it. And another point that is interesting for this application is Lumen, and the fact that thanks to Lumen, we only have the spotlight that you moves in the scene reflects and bounce everywhere in real time, so that we have a great feeling of immersion inside of the app thanks to Lumen. Another thing we did is we created a system that gathers the location of the sensor in 3D and transform it to control the mouse inside of Unreal. So that what is cool with that is that when we have to test the application or to use the application, we don't need to actually have the lamp with us. We can test it just with the mouse and So the development went fine, thanks to that.
How incredible is that? Moving from a full-size virtual universe to this small window with this serious game, and this in a matter of a few months. From the conception phase to the deployment, it was less than 2 months. And this, again, thanks to all the shortcuts that we can have with Unreal Engine, the fact that we can move the assets from the virtual world to this application, and this is the magic also of Unreal Engine. So our next case is our experience with the Walt Disney Company for the Wall of Shadow. So the Wall of Shadow. This is one of our best creations that we created with the Walt Disney Company. We won several awards with it. And what's really incredible in this creation is that we were able to make this emotional connection between any traveler going through the Saint-Lazare station with some of the iconic character of the Walt Disney Company. So the idea in the first of this project, in the beginning of this project, is bringing the launch of Disney Plus in France and have an experience that can show the different universes that are present in Disney Plus platform. And Disney wanted something fast, something catchy, because as you know, in a train station, everyone is moving very fast. And we need something that can grab a few seconds or even a few minutes of the time of the traveler and try to mark them with this experience. And through the brainstorming, I think that something came up very fast is we need to have the different person meet and feel these characters in the station. And we weren't going to put some person inside the giant character and make a move like we have in the Disneyland park. We want something more subtle and something a little bit more magical. So we had this idea, why not having the shadow of the character create this feeling that they are behind a tissue and they can interact with us. So we tried to give this impression through a lot of different small technology. And what you get is what you saw already, is really this experience when you can come in front of the scene and have an emotional connection and start moving and interacting with this character. And for that, we had each time someone come in front of the character, he can say hi, the character say hi again. For example, if someone is moving a little bit far, one of the characters can start moving and try to tell him to come and say hi. We have even a challenge where the character is challenging the traveler, and if he do the movement like him in the challenge, we reveal a hidden trailer to this person. And to make this experience work, like always, we need Victor to explain a little bit of this technical stuff. So
for the technical stuff, I can say on this project, we were having a big area to cover with the Kinect because the screen was 5 meters large. And so one Kinect wasn't enough to track people. So we used 3 Kinects and And I don't know if you know, but one Kinect tracking something on a computer is pretty CPU heavy. And so we decided to go with one PC for each Kinect. And they were all sending their data to the PC with Unreal on it, with the application. There, the data will be merged and crossed to check that the same skeleton was detected as only one skeleton. Because if you have one people working in the field of the 3 Kinect at the same time, the computer will detect 3 skeletons, one per Kinect. So we have to cross the data to be sure that we eliminate the 2 other skeletons. And from there, we detect the actions that the users are doing. So if they jump, if they say hello, where they are. And from this, we send that to the AI in Unreal of each character, and they do according behavior. Another tricky part was getting the perfect optical effect for the shadow, because it's not just a silhouette. You had to feel the sense of depth from somebody that's going close to the curtain or further away. So we used actually render targets of each character in black and white in front of a white screen, and then we compose it in a post-process material on the main render camera. And that's where all the compositing occurs. So to have the 5 characters at the same time on the screen, we had this, you can see here, that's the Unreal scene. So we have 5 characters, duplicated 5 sets with render targets, capturing the movement. And we combine them with inside of a post-process material.
What was truly magical in this experience was also the small details that we can get with Unreal by blending some animation, by making some element dynamic. Like, for example, we could have the head and the eye oriented really exactly toward the head of the person that was interacting, even if we pre-prepared the animation of the walk of Iron Man or Woody, but we always blended it a little bit to be adapted to the person in front. So each time the character, if we have a children in front of us, of a very big person in front of us, it changed the animation, it make it more subtle. And this what made this interaction really intimate with each person doing the experience. So let's move to another creation that we did with the Walt Disney Company. It was for the release of Hawkeye. And for this one, we moved the virtual production tool to something else that you'll see.
Alors on a pris des photos avec un tir à l'arc. C'est comme si on était dans une vraie chambre.
Et franchement c'était trop top. On a une arc pour faire semblant de tirer l'un sur l'autre ou quoi. On prend la photo, elle est enregistrée directement. On a un QR code qui sort.
Et ensuite ça nous a envoyé des photos et des vidéos sur le portable. Ça c'était génial.
Franchement super concept.
Super, je vous conseille d'aller ici.
C'était rigolo.
Très très bonne idée et à réitérer le plus possible.
So you saw it already with the type of music, but it was all about being heroic in this experience. So as you can see, it was deployed in a mall, this installation. this physical installation. And as you can see, there is no green screen, and we had no AI to cut out the person inside, but we still needed to use the tricks of virtual production. The creative Walt Disney Company team wanted to make this experience in a mall, and the idea is to make the person enter and discover the world of Hawkeye. And for us, one of the things that everyone dreams with this superhero world is to be the superhero, is to be integrated in this universe. And there we had this idea to transforming something that everyone see, because a lot of person in mall already tried a photo booth in front of something very simple, for example, a drawing of the superhero, something like that. But we wanted that the user start thinking that it's a simple photo booth, but after that, he's surprised by the effect that he is being transformed and being directly into the scene, and he will be shooting this virtual arrow, and he will be getting his shot directly into his smartphone through a QR code. And like you saw, this photo booth on steroids that we created thanks to hacking a little bit of the virtual production tools of Unreal. And for that, we did some technical magic. And again, Victor, your time.
Yes, I'll be quick. And you can see how the application is working physically and all the installation. So you have a camera that is the best way we found to integrate RGB feed inside of Unreal was to get an acquisition card that makes the computer see the camera as a webcam. So when it's a webcam, Unreal integrates it really perfectly easily. So that's what we used. So you have a camera feeding the PC with the app. Another PC is capturing the video, the application. The PC is sending it to the TV. And when the users get the QR code, they can access a generated web page, especially for them, with only their data inside of it, that we upload from the capture PC to the FTP server. Something tricky about this application was the fact that we had to do the setup in one night only, and we had to do all the physical setup before connecting the application and everything. So it was quite a long night, and who knew having a good internet connection inside of a mall wasn't that easy. So here you go.
I don't know if you are going to have enough time to see the last example, but just to summarize it, it's also a way to hack the virtual production tools of Unreal Engine for this creation. It's an interactive experience that was in the Abu Dhabi Louvre and recently in the Musée Quai Branly in France, in an exposition about Bollywood and the art of Bollywood. And the idea behind it is to bring the person inside the museum to dance with the start of the show and try to have this feeling throughout several shots. So I think we're gonna go directly into how we did this before moving into the conclusion.
So the most interesting thing about this application was the fact that it was set up in Abu Dhabi, and we were in Paris, so we had to do the setup remotely. So we had to expose a lot of settings of the app, inside of the packaged build so that we could change it without having to repackage each time the application. So that's really an important thing we did for it, because we have the user that is integrated in different movie shots. So we have only one camera filming the actor, the user, and we must integrate it in several shots with different focals and different camera angles. So we created an Android 3D scene with a plate behind and a composure with a plate integrated in front of a video, and with camera moving to adjust accordingly to each plane and having the best fit possible.
And as you can see, one of the key features of this experience is the incredible talent, dancing talent of Victor, as you can see in the image.
Thank you.
So let's summarize a little bit. How we make a solid phygital experience. Something very important in this field is the security and the privacy. As you saw already, we share some digital gifts and some of the experiences, and we need to find a way to share this gift without always the need to, for example, have an email. So we created some small ways to have more direct sharing without going into a web database, and always encrypting the data and protecting it to be GDPR ready. But also, it's the robustness of the setup itself. We need always to find a way to hide all the technical elements that a hacker or anyone can connect to it, to make always the experience safe and secure. Something else that is very important is the autonomy of the experience. We try to create each time, when necessary, an autonomous experience, a plug-and-play experience that will be starting every day without the need of any human intervention. And we create also some small technical features that let us reboot the system whenever we detect an error or something like that, to have as less human intervention as possible. It's very important in the crowded places, because we cannot stop the function and do something for a few hours and then going back to normal functionality. Something else that is very important is the good performance. So this good performance, it's very important in many ways. First of all, we cannot have each time a gigantic PC with a lot of cards to use the most performance-consuming feature of Unreal. So we need to adjust each time to have a small computer that can deliver good performances, because this experience needs to be fast, needs to be smooth, and the impact on each person really is depending on how well he enters and he establishes this connection with the experience. And for that, a slow frame rate is not acceptable. Stress test. So the stress test is very important. So before each event, we try to recreate as much as possible the final type of environment. So for that, and we try to run the application to see if there is something that is hitting in some memory leaks or things like that, to be able, again, to optimize the experience. And also sometimes even some physical stress tests, because we can have something that is come and punch the camera or something like that, and we need to find a way to be well adjusted. It's not only about the software, it's also these physical elements that are important. And for example, the detail that we exposed about the flashlight, the fact that having the flashlight, which is mandatory for this experience, always charged, is very important. That's why the auto charge feature that we created is very important for this kind of experience. optimal deployment, I think that we explored this with the, also the autonomous part. But a lot of our clients doesn't want us to come each time to help them deploy. And it's very important to create plug-and-play experiences. And for that, the simplest, the deployment, means that they can deploy it in a lot of different places without the need to have us by themselves, with them in this experience. And always have a plan A, B, C, and D, because in a physical space, everything can happen. And you can imagine a lot of things, prepare a lot of things, but sometimes something that goes and you didn't see it, so having backup plans is very, very important. I will finish with how to make it good, this physical experience. I think the fun part is one of the most important. And the concept doesn't need to be complex. Sometimes the simplest way to do things and the simple magical trick is enough to make this connection. We need to be catchy also with these experiences because in the physical places, in malls, and also in train stations, everyone have his own rhythm, his own agenda, he moving very fast, and we need to have something that can grab them and give us these few minutes to explore this experience and have this magical moment. The good time balance is something that we need to adapt in each experience with the place and the type of consumer that can have them. You cannot have the same timing of an experience in a showroom where you have private visits, for example, or a train station where everyone runs. So the concept itself needs to adapt also to this, to the time that every consumer have. And in some of the experience that we had, we even introduced dynamic timing because, for example, in some fairs, you have some timing where there's a lot of people coming, so you need something very fast. And after, when you have less person coming, you can have an experience that take longer in time. The sensory dimension is something that is very interesting because everyone at home, for example, with the video games and all the entertainment that we have access, is using all the time the eye and the ear. But a human being is not only eye and ear. The touch, the smell, all the sense of a human can be used and played with in an experience. And some of the experience that we created, we even try to remove one of the senses, for example, the eyes, to make the person use the rest of his senses in the experience and accentuate them. And the natural immersion comes also from the way that we create the experience and how well you move from this physical sensation to the digital space. And this is a creative iteration that need to be adjusted because we need to create this small connection happening very fast to create the natural immersion. I think that the memorable part is really about the magic. So the idea, again, is creating this small magical moment for each person when they enter into the physical space of the experience, connecting their brain, their heart, to the universe of the brand or to the universe of the show or the movie, and try to have a memorable, nice moment, get there, to have a very good memorial impact on the person. So for the rest of the time, if you have any question, we are here for that. Thank you for listening.